Welcome to my Choose Your Own Adventure paint series. Last time we had a base-coated Spartan from Halo, and if you chose the wash method for adding your shadows, you made a great choice. Let's get right into it. Here's what we're working with today. A wash, which is basically a thinned down paint that flows into all the recessed areas of your model. I specifically chose this dark tone from Army Painter's War Paints Fanatic line for my wash, because this is the kind of wash that will come in a starter set for miniature painting. There are other washes out there, like enamel washes, but we might cover those in a different video further on down the line. We're also going to be using a normal paint palette for this. Anything will do really though. And a larger brush than normal. I usually like to use a size 2 or 3 for this, maybe even a little bit larger if I have one. A quick note on the palette. I'm using a regular one with deep wells instead of my usual wet palette. Wet palettes make washes too watery, and same goes for speed paints and contrast paints. Just something to keep in mind. Now, if you're coming from the base coating video, your Spartan should look just like this. Nice flat colors, but not really any depth yet. That's exactly what we're going to be fixing today. Alright, here's the technique. Load up your brush with a fairly generous amount of wash. This is very different from base coating where we used thin layers. With washes, we actually want more paint on the brush. I always start with the legs and work my way up. Not really for any particular reason, it just helps me not miss anything. Coat each piece thoroughly, don't be shy with it. The wash needs to flow into all those crevices and little panel lines. That's where the magic happens. I'm working section by section, chest plate, arms, shoulders, always checking for pooling and wicking it away when needed. Now, with the gold visor, I'm being extra careful to keep the wash off of it. Not for any real technical reason, washes work fine on metallics. I just really like how this gold looks as is and don't want to darken it, but that's a personal choice. If you do accidentally get some wash where you don't want it, don't panic. Just grab your brush, rinse it out, dry it off as best you can on a paper towel, and then wipe away as much of it as you can before it dries. There's also a step a little bit later we might be able to take to clean some of this up too. One thing you'll notice as we go, the wash is darkening and tinting? One thing you'll notice as we go, the wash is darkening and tinting the entire model somewhat, not just the recesses. This is normal and expected. It's actually adding depth and dimension to everything. Some areas might get darker than you want, and that's okay. We'll address that in just a minute with some simple touch-ups. Now, here's the key part. See how the wash is pooling on this flat surface here? We really don't want that. It'll dry with an uneven coffee stain look. So what I do really quick is rinse my brush in my paint water, and then I'll dry it really well on a paper towel. Get as much of the moisture out as possible. Then I come back and gently wick up that excess wash with the dried brush. It's kind of like using a sponge. The wash stays in the recesses where we want it, but comes off of those big flat areas. This is probably one of the most important techniques to master with these kind of washes. Once you've covered the whole model, you need to let it dry completely. Washes take a bit longer than regular paint, usually 20 to 30 minutes at least, depending on how thick you've applied it. And here's what we've got. Look at all that depth. Panel lines pop, the details stand out. Look at all that dimension now. But you can see some areas got a little bit too dark. This is where we bring back our base coat colors for some touch-ups. We're going to carefully repaint some of the raised areas and flat surfaces that got a little too darkened by the wash. I'm using the same pure red from the base coating video, but I'm only hitting the most prominent surfaces. The tops of armor plates, raised edges, anything that would naturally catch light. This doesn't have to be perfect. You're not trying to cover everything. Just bring back some of that clean base color on the highest points. This creates a nice transition from the dark recesses to the brighter surfaces. If you used any other base colors instead of just one color like red, you can touch those up too. But honestly, dark colors like the black undersuit usually handle washes pretty well. And here's where you have another choice. You could absolutely stop right here. The wash has added fantastic depth and detail to your miniature. With these touch-ups, it looks great and totally tabletop ready. Look at how much more three-dimensional this looks compared to just the base coat. All those armor panels, the mechanical details, the depth in the undersuit, it all pops now. But if you want to take it to the next level and add even more contrast and pop, the next step is highlights. That's where we use lighter colors on the most prominent edges and surfaces to really make this Spartan shine. I've got a full tutorial on highlighting coming up that'll follow this step in the Choose Your Own Adventure path. And I've also got another video that will dive deeper into different ways to shade your miniature instead of using washes. I'll link both of those in cards and descriptions wherever that pops up here. So there you go. Washes are an incredibly powerful tool to add detail and depth to your miniatures quickly and effectively. Let me know in the comments how your washes turned out, and whether you're going to stop here or continue on to highlights. Both choices are perfectly valid. It's your mini, your journey. Thanks for painting along with me in this Choose Your Own Adventure paint series. Until next time, keep learning and keep painting.